He actually injured himself during the game versus the Warriors on Friday, where the Warriors obviously blew the Bulls out. And I guess my question for the both of you right now is, what does this injury mean for the Bulls? Do you think that it will affect their place in the standings at number one in the East? Do players like DeMar DeRozan have to step up? And yeah.
Well, I mean, overall, the entire East is like kind of messed up. Like the Eastern Conference, like the 11th seed, and obviously the 11th seed would not even make the play-in. They're 500, the Celtics. And then in the West, it's like the Kings who are 18 and 27. So it's kind of complicated, but as of right now, I don't think they're in a bad position because I watched them last night. I mean, they didn't play super bad. Obviously, with Zach LaVine, it's something different, but I think the team is kind of used to it now because obviously, probably around a month back, we had the health and safety protocols with so many players in the NBA. So I think the Bulls are kind of used to it. But something to note is that Alex Caruso is also out right now. So you have two key players, but I think with how DeMar's playing, with how Vucevic is playing, with how Alonzo's playing, I think it's not going to affect him. And especially with the Brooklyn Nets, and we'll talk about them later, obviously. But just to say, with Kevin Durant's injury, I think both teams are kind of like in this situation where it's uncertain. But I think with their record, they're going to definitely stay. But with Miami Heat are definitely coming up. They're number 2 in the East actually now, but I don't think it's going to affect them in a big way.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, you were talking about DeMar DeRozan, if he could do any more. I don't think he can do any more. I think they're just going to have to find, someone off the bench to really just at least make up even half of what like LaVine could produce. But besides that, I don't think they can have their other stars step up more than they already have. I think they're already performing above and beyond. DeMar DeRozan is having an outstanding season. And although they're going to miss that 25 points per game from Zach LaVine, I think it's something that they'll be able to, just kind of roll with, especially considering it's not a major injury. They
Yeah,
just have to bridge a small gap.
yeah, it's not like the Bulls already kind of exceeded our expectations, at least for now. Because I remember right before the season when we filmed our podcast, EKAMRESH, we kind of talked about how the Bulls would be like that 4 to 5 seed, and they'd be like, oh, maybe okay, not as good. But DeMar definitely played better than I expected. Zach LaVine played a little bit better than average. Lonzo and Vucevic especially surprised me, and as well as Alex Caruso.
Mm-hmm.
So I think their team is one of those teams like I kind of think about the 2019 Raptors when I kind of think about that because like not because I'm a Raptors fan, just because I'm thinking about it. But you have Kawhi, who's your captain, and I mean on the Bulls, there's not a particular captain, but let's just say DeMar DeRozan in this case. And then you have so many guys who are decent helping him out around that, like for the Raptors, Siakam, Van Vliet, Anunoby, Kyle Lowry. So like you have so many guys just around him. So I think the Bulls, I mean, despite their experience, I mean, the Raptors had the same problem. They didn't have experience coming into the 2019 playoffs, except for getting blown out by LeBron every year. But I think the Bulls definitely have the potential to be that Eastern Conference Finals team. Maybe the finals. I mean, it's kind of too early to tell. I mean, but I think especially as we get later in the season, we'll definitely have like a better idea of that.
Yeah, but I would say that their finals chances, I mean, I'm kind of getting, is really determined on how healthy the Brooklyn Nets are going to be. Because if the Brooklyn Nets are not healthy, I think that the Chicago Bulls can easily go toe to toe with the Bucks, and there's probably like a 60% chance that they're winning that series versus the Bucks. But with the Nets, it's obviously a lot harder to judge. But seeing as the Nets just haven't been able to be healthy for the past 2